BlacKkKlansman, directed by Spike Lee, is a thoroughly entertaining movie. I had a lot of fun watching this thing. I am not a huge Spike Lee fan. I've seen maybe two of his movies, including which includes this one, and I'm just not familiar with his work. But after watching BlacKkKlansman, I would like to watch more of his work. I thought BlacKkKlansman was a very, very enjoyable film. I thought it was excellent. The cast all did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed the story. I liked Spike's direction. I thought the cinematography was spectacular and beautiful. The production value and production design really captured that late 70s aesthetic, along with the costumes and the music. And like I said, the story of this movie is really engaging. John David Washington, an actor who I have no familiarity with, gave an excellent performance as Ron Stallworth, who was pretty much the first black man to join the Colorado Springs Police Department. I like the scenes where he has to face, racial tension from his fellow workers, but I also like the camaraderie he develops with the Adam Driver and Michael Buscemi characters as well. You really see them form a very close bond and a friendship, and there are a lot of scenes where you see that play out. Really, really well handled. I also like the scene where he meets the Laura Harrier character, Patrice, who is like the president of a black student union at the Colorado Springs College, and they meet at this black rally where the character Stokely Carmichael is giving this very empowering speech, played by Corey Hawkins. And I thought this scene was really, really well done. Corey Hawkins gave this impassioned and powerful performance in this one little scene. I think the scene dragged on for a little too long, and I would have cut it off. I think Spike Lee was getting way too on his soapbox, and that stuff I'm not really a big fan of. Look, I am okay if a director wants to put their political statement in a movie, but dial it back a little bit. Don't let it drag on for too long, because the movie's going to go to a screeching halt, and I just don't like stuff like that. If you were to cut maybe like a minute or two off that scene and let the movie go on, it would have had a more natural flow. I think the movie grinded to a halt too early to let this speech play out. It's not a bad scene by any means. Like I said, Corey Hawkins gives a fantastic performance in it, but I would have trimmed it down a little bit to get the ball rolling a little bit more earlier and more faster. That's just me personally. I like Topher Grace as the character of David Duke, who is like the grand wizard of the organization. And Topher Grace just plays this guy as this alt-white, white is right type of guy. He has the most whitest dialogue, like darn tootin' and you bet your keister, stuff like that. And I thought Topher Grace was just having a ball playing this character. He was very entertaining to watch. And I thought he just has what's the word I'm looking for? He has this charismatic vibe about him, and it's disturbing to say because the man is part of an organization that is fueled on hatred towards minorities. But this guy, David Duke, has just got that just uneasy charisma about him. And I thought Topher Grace translated that to screen almost a little too good for his almost a little too good. And that's all I'm going to say about that. This movie also has a really good supporting cast. You have John Robert Burke, who played RoboCop in RoboCop 3. He plays the police chief, and I like his character. I thought he did a good job. The character of Felix, who is a member of the organization, I like the tension-fueled rivalry he has with the Flip character played by Adam Driver. Speaking of Adam Driver is the man who plays the white avatar of Ron Stallworth. Pretty much, Ron Stallworth finds an ad in the paper about the Ku Klux Klan forming in Colorado Springs, and he uses Flip as his avatar to infiltrate the KKK. And I thought Adam Driver did a really good job playing the character of Flip, posing as a KKK member. I like this underlined rivalry that forms between him and Felix. Felix is like dead set on exposing this man to be not who he is, and you have Flip doing whatever he can possible to convince these people that he is who he says he is, because he does not want to get exposed, because that could kill him. And all of those scenes with him, they're very tension fueled. There's a lot of funny dialogue in those scenes, but the tension, you can cut it with a knife as well. And I thought Driver did a spectacular job in the role. Like I said, this movie also has some pretty good subplots as well. I thought the budding romance between between Stallworth and the Patrice character was handled exceptionally well. They have really good chemistry with one another. I really enjoyed the scene where they're just like taking a walk, talking about movies like Coffee and Cleopatra. You really get a real sense of their relationship blossoming. And I also like the tension that they have as well when Patrice finds out that Stallworth is a cop. You know, early on in the movie, Patrice was pulled over and was harassed by a dirty cop, and Stallworth is trying to convince her. Then listen, he's a black man who's fighting for his people, but he's also a cop first. But he's also a cop as well. And in Stallworth's mind, him being a cop is one step closer to like, you know, is one step closer to bringing a natural justice to a group of minorities who are constantly being harassed by the evil. And I like that those two conflicting ideologies between the two, and I thought the movie handled it exceptionally well. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I think you know what? I'm going to leave it all like that. I'm going to leave that all like that. I don't want to go too deep in this thing because I really think people should give this movie a watch because it is really, really entertaining. It is really, really good. Like I said, it is sharply written. It's expertly acted. Spike Lee did a fabulous job behind the director's chair. I love the cinematography in this movie. It's a beautiful looking film. Production value is fantastic. The production design is, like I said, captured that 70s aesthetic. And the performances all around from start to finish, excellent, excellent, excellent. All good stuff. So, despite my one gripe, which is the speech scene, which I would have trimmed a little bit, this is an overall near perfect film, and I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. The cast is fantastic. The story is great. This movie is also really, really timely, and it tackles a lot of issues that we deal with today, and it did it in a very smart way. Though there are certain moments where I thought it could be a little too pretentious for its own good, Spike Lee did manage to dial himself down just a little bit, and then he would go off kilter. There are moments where he dials down, and then there are moments where he goes a little too over the top for my own taste. But overall, very, very good movie, and well deserving of a 9 out of 10 rating. Okay, so if you've seen BlacKkKlansman, let me know in the comment sections below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I would like to know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.